Are you focused on being alive, feeling alive, or are you focused on being comfortable? If you've not met before, my name is Jeff. I'm headed over to the coffee shop. It's about a mile walk from here, so a mile and a quarter walk from here. So join me. Let's talk about that. I ran a little bit late. They usually do this at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Just running behind today. Got some kid things going and uh, getting prepared. I'm going to be a guest for a podcast interview later, so I was trying to get a couple things prepared for that. So just running late today, and thanks for joining me. Thanks for walking along. Glad you're here. For a little bit of background, I host a show every day called Java with Jeff. It's about the mindsets that are necessary for growth, and um, I do that. I host that show inside a private community, and I started the Substack really as a way to expand the audience because um, the things we talk about there are not specific to that particular community. They're applicable to everybody. And so wanted to do these live streams on the Substack so more people can join the conversation. And I do want people to join the conversation. So as you get here, say hi. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you are. I like to know where people are joining the conversation from. One of the things I do on Java with Jeff every Friday is I read James Clear's 321 email. He sends that out every Thursday, drops in my inbox after Java with Jeff is over. So I read it Friday mornings. James Clear is the author of Atomic Habits. If you don't know that, if you haven't read Atomic Habits, you should. But I read through the email. I let the audience, the Java with Jeff audience, decide what they want to talk about. You know, what in this email resonates with you, basically, is the question, I guess. And the 321 format is 3 ideas from James Clear and two uh, 2 quotes from others, and then 1 question from you. So what he puts it. And so today, it was sort of a split vote today. Um, Several people latched onto a couple of the ideas from James Clear, and then someone also latched onto the 1 question for you at the bottom of the email. And that one, and so we kind of broke all 3 of them down a little bit. And I'm still kind of mulling over that 1 question for you. So I wanted to use that for this walk. So maybe we can hash this out together. The question, I don't have it in front of me, but the question goes something like, are you doing the things that excite you and make you feel alive, or are you doing things because they excite you and make you feel alive, or are you doing things because they're familiar and they keep you comfortable? The way he put it in the email is better than that. I'm really good at butchering quotes, so my goal is to give you sort of the essence of the quote and give you the reference, and then you can Google it and find the actual language. But I think, as we were talking about that on Java with Jeff, excited and alive versus known and comfortable, I guess. One of the things that we know, and I have this, I used to call it Jeff's 5 steps to growth, but we've been adding to it over time. But it's basically the formula, the natural rhythm of growth, the things that are necessary in order for us to grow. And it's 7 or 8 steps by now. And I'm still a little bit confused as to how to work in another reality of growth into the steps, or if it even is a step, or if it's an overarching theme, or if it is, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but the reality is that in order to grow, we have to embrace discomfort. Growth doesn't come from comfort, and I have mentioned several times, both here in this live stream and in Java with Jeff this week, that I was having a conversation one evening this week with a young person that was, they were kind of ranting about, their frustrations and things that they wanted to do and things they wanted to have, and the um, frustrations with themselves and with themselves, um, things like that. And one of the things, as I would push back, so challenge a little bit. Well, you say you want to do this, why aren't you doing this? Those kinds of questions, right? That kind of conversation. And one of the things that really came out was they didn't want to get uncomfortable. They wanted to somehow change, or um, let's they, either they wanted to change, or they wanted things to change for them, their situation, whatever it is. And, these are growing pains, basically. That's what this conversation was about, is growing pains. But, the basically what it came down to was they wanted to grow without being uncomfortable. They wanted to maintain comfort and grow at the same time. Starting to realize that I made a bad clothing choice this morning. It's it's oddly warm out, but the wind is not warm. Um, anyway, speaking of discomfort, they 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 want to have their cake and eat it too, right? I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? It's, oh, I want to achieve this, I want to accomplish this, but I'm exaggerating it. I don't want to put words in their mouth at all, but it's kind of one of those things. If it's not, it's not one of my kids that I'm talking about. But if you've got kids, you've had these kinds of conversations. I want this, that, and but I'm not willing to do anything for it. That's it's kind of a harsh view of it, but it's also kind of a real view of it. And so we bring coming back to this idea from James Clear. Are you doing the things that excite you and make you feel alive? One of the things, as I read that, I thought, well, does discomfort make us feel alive? Seems like an odd question to me. Does discomfort make me feel alive? Because, one of the things that we normally attribute to making us feel alive, like, oh, it's the risky things, it's the things that maybe we shouldn't be doing, it's the um, who go fast, or we I don't know. I don't know what makes you feel alive, but it's the different, it's the new things, the unknown, it's all those things. That's where discomfort lives. Discomfort lives in the new, in the change. It drives change. So is discomfort, maybe in the way that we normally think about the word, but does discomfort make us feel alive? And I also recognize that, in this time of year, coming out of the holidays, where it's such a bizarre time of year, right? We're out of our routines. Maybe, uh, de- maybe depending on your season of life or your situation, maybe there's more connection this time of year than any other time of year, and more demands this time of year than any other. And then, you know, um, if you're like me, it's like, I really want to get back to the routines. I want to get back to being able to do the things that we do all the time. Morning. Um, and so there's this, I'm tired of sitting around and waiting. I'm tired of, all the things that happen when you don't have control over schedules necessarily and activities necessarily. Things are disrupting our day to day. That that comfort, that doing the things that we do all the time because they are the things that keep us comfortable, because they're the things that we know what the outcome is. And, that's sort of antithetical to the show that I do, Job with Jeff, the work that I do on cultures of growth, fostering a culture of growth in your organization, or you can even take it down to the personal level. I mean, that's sort of what the show is about, but my work is about the organizational level. Probably about the wind. I'm sure it's noisy. Heard this morning. It's so hard that at times overnight I could hear the whole house flexing, hear the windows flexing. Um, line of front that's going through. But back to the question from James Clear, what are you doing? Are you trying to stay comfortable, or are you trying to live? That's why the title for this, right? Are you trying to live, trying to do the thing that's make you feel alive, or are you trying to stay comfortable? Think about that. It's 2026. We finished our first business week, if you want to call it that. This is the end of the first business week of 2026. It's been a bizarre year in a lot of ways. It's been a bizarre year. We're 9 days or 8 days in. We're in our ninth day of this year. And I don't know what you had in your bingo card, but it's been wild, right? And that's one of the things that's on my mind a lot too. I've seen a lot of people the last couple of days talking about this dog that likes to follow me around the yard. Say hi. Um, hi. Yep. There's a lot of people talking about the reason you may feel overwhelmed, or the reason that your brain may kind of be pulling back, shutting down. It's because a lot of what's happening, if you're following anything in the news or scrolling through, doom scrolling, any of those things, same things in your brain is going, this isn't safe, this isn't safe. It's new, it's unknown, it's completely unexpected. So your brain is going to pull back from that and find a point of rest and normalcy and familiarity. And maybe that's a really great analogy for this conversation too. I'm not saying we want to celebrate the things that are going on. I'm not saying that at all. But in terms of, are we doing the things that excite us and make us feel alive? We can't, in order to do that, um, we can't focus on this is the way we always do it. We've always done it. We can't do those things. Maybe, I don't know. Well, maybe that's not true. Maybe the way that you always do it is the exciting thing. Maybe you're pushing the limits, the boundaries, the whatever it is that fires you up. And I guess that's the point, right? How do we get to that point and maintain that point? We all need breaks. We all need rest at times. Um, but what if, for 2026, we focused on the things that we can control and we leaned into the things that make us feel alive? And we started to let go of the things that we do just because they're comfortable, just because this is what's known. Maybe Sunday dinner with the family is the comfortable, ah, or maybe it's not. Um, Construction everywhere. Let's get on this one. See what's going on. Um, but maybe we do need a weekly time event, whatever it is, where we're doing it, we're attending it, um, that's where we are. That's what we're doing because it is comfortable, because it is known, because it is the thing that makes us feel safe as a way to come back and rest and relax so that we can then, sorry, this is really loud, so that we can then push forward with the things that challenge us, with the things that make us feel alive, the things that do excite us. Back in truck. This to me looks like somebody's basement got flooded in the storm. Um, I mentioned the just 5 steps to growth earlier, about 3/4 of a mile ago, and I never gave you the steps. It's not 5, as I said, over those years that I've hosted Java with Jeff and expanded the number of steps. But growth starts with curiosity. Right? Are you a curious person? And one of the things I'm trying to think through as I'm walking and talking right now is, I guess it's the reality that not everybody has a growth mindset. And that's literally the reason for launching Java with Jeff back when we did. And that's literally the reason that I do the work that I do, is because leaders of organizations in the industry that I work in, leaders of innovation, are saying, the biggest barrier we have is that we don't have a growth mindset as an organization, and our people don't have a growth mindset. So I guess I'm coming full circle of that. This conversation is for the growth mindset. It's pushing against the fixed mindset. So if you're going to grow, you have to be curious. You have to be curious. What about this? What if I did this? What if I did less of this? What if I did more of this? What if this happened? What if that happened? Right? You have to be curious. And that curiosity needs to eventually lead to a belief that if you did this or stopped doing this or whatever it is, that you would be able to change and to grow. And then that belief has to get you to the point that you're willing to make the decision to take action. Action is the next step. You cannot grow without taking action. And you have to keep taking that action over and over until it becomes part of your normal motion. And then the next step after motion is you sustain that motion until it develops momentum, and that momentum drives change, and change leads to growth. And my question about discomfort is, where does that fit? Where does the idea of embracing discomfort fit? Is it a step? Is it is it a layer? I don't know what it is, but it's part of that reality. So I don't know. I guess back to the question now that I made it to the coffee shop. It's back to the question from James. What are you doing? Are you doing the things that are comfortable or are you living? Think about that. Comment here. Let me know. And thanks for walking with me. I'll be back Monday, if not before. Have a great weekend. Thanks.